Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
The taskbar at the bottom of the organizer window contains many functions. To both hide and show the Albums and Folders panel at the left side of the organizer window, click the Hide and Show Panel toggle button at the left end of the taskbar. To undo the last action you performed in the organizer window, click the Undo button in the taskbar. To redo an action that was undone, click the drop-down arrow at the right side of the Undo button, and then click the Redo button in the pop-up menu that appears. To rotate a selected image 45 degrees to the left, click the Rotate button that appears in the taskbar. To rotate a selected image 45 degrees to the right, click the drop-down arrow to the right of the Rotate button, and then select the Rotate Right button from the pop-up menu that appears. In the next section of the taskbar are two buttons that you can use to organize selected images in the organizer window. These buttons let you add data for the locations and events in the selected media. After adding that type of data to the selected images, you can display the media by the groups created within each category by clicking the corresponding Places or Events buttons in the Shortcuts bar above the organizer window. Photoshop Elements uses a facial recognition technology called people recognition that automatically recognizes faces. You can turn off this feature by selecting Edit, then Preferences, then Media Analysis from the menu bar, and then unchecking the Run Face Recognition Automatically checkbox in the People View Settings section of the Preferences dialog box. You would then click the OK button to save your changes. When enabled, People Recognition automatically separates the people in photos with similar recognizable faces into stacks. You can click the People button in the Shortcuts bar at the top of the window to view these stacks. Then click the Unnamed link at the top of the window to view unnamed people. You can click a stack shown to view the faces in the stack below it. You can then click on any faces that do not belong to the person within the stack. After removing any errant faces from the stack, you can click the X button in the upper right corner of the faces shown to close the pane of faces. Next, click the Add Name link under the stack of photos for a person and type their name. Then click the checkmark button to the right to name the person in the stack of photos. You can also click the X button to cancel the name if desired. When finished naming the people, you can click the Media button in the Shortcuts bar to return to the organizer's media window. You can also assign faces to people within selected photos in the organizer's media window by simply right-clicking on the selected photos in the organizer's media window. Then choose the Add a Person command from the pop-up menu that appears. Enter the person's name in the text box and click the Add button to assign that person to the photos. Alternatively, you can mark a person's face in a photo. To do this in the organizer, double-click a photo to open it in single image view. In the taskbar, click the Mark Face button to add a bounding box with an Add Name text field to the photo. Click and drag the bounding box over the face in the image. Then click into the Add Name text field and type the person's name. Then click the green check mark to assign that person to the photo. You can also click the red Cancel button, which looks like a not symbol, to cancel adding the face. To view all media files that have people assigned, click the People button at the top of the organizer window. At any point, you can switch back to one of the other views, like Media, by clicking one of the other buttons in the Shortcuts bar. To assign places to media, click the Media button in the Shortcuts bar. Then select the desired images and click the Add Location button that appears in the taskbar. In the Add a Location dialog box that opens, type a location of your choosing and then press the Enter key on your keyboard to see matching locations appear within a drop-down menu. Click to select the desired location to use from the drop-down menu, and then click the Apply button to apply that location data to the selected images. After you assign a location, you can click the Places button in the Shortcuts bar to see a map. On this map, a small icon will appear on the map in the location that you marked. The icons show a number which indicates how many media files are assigned to that location. Double-click these icons to show the assigned images. You can go back to the map by clicking the Back button above the images. To assign events to media, click the Media button in the Shortcuts bar. Then select the desired images and click the Add Event button that appears in the taskbar to open the Add New Event pane at the right side of the window. Type an event name into the Name field. You can assign a start and end date to the event by entering the dates into the two fields shown, or by clicking the calendar icon next to each field and then selecting the date. If you have created event groups, you can select one from the Group drop-down. Otherwise, leave it set at the default None value. You can also enter a detailed description into the Description field. Click the Done button when you are finished. You can then click the Events button in the Shortcuts bar above the Organizer window, and then click the named link below that to see the events you have named. You can also click the Suggested link to the right of the named link to see photos arranged by date into suggested events. In either the named or suggested event view, you can further filter the events that are shown by using the Year drop-down and Month buttons that appear in the Calendar pane at the right side of the window. When you are finished viewing the events, you can click the Media button in the Shortcuts bar to display all the organizer's media again. In the Media view, you can select photos within the Organizer window and then click the Slideshow button in the taskbar to have elements create and play a slideshow from the selected photos. We will examine creating slideshows in detail later in this course. When playing a slideshow, a toolbar appears at the bottom of the slideshow. You can click the Exit button in this toolbar to exit the slideshow when finished. To apply an instant fix to a selected image, select an image in the Organizer's Media window to fix. Then click the Instant Fix button in the taskbar to open the image in a separate Instant Fix window. At the right side of this window is a toolbar that contains fixes you can apply to images for common problems such as photo red eye or correcting color and contrast. Other than the Crop tool, the fixes are all performed by clicking the desired button. If you click the Crop button, a panel with common cropping choices appears to the left of the toolbar. You can then select the cropping to apply within this panel. Cropping removes unwanted areas of an image to enhance the composition. The area inside the border that appears is the area that will be saved when cropping is completed. You can adjust this area by rolling your mouse over the border until your cursor turns into a double-pointed arrow, and then clicking and dragging to define the new area to crop. When ready, click the green checkmark button at the lower right corner of the cropping area to apply it. You can also click the adjacent Cancel button to cancel the cropping. If you make a change you don't like within the Instant Fix window, you can click the Undo button in the taskbar to undo the change. You can click the Redo button to redo an action you have undone. You can also click the Flip button to flip the image, or the Reset button to reset all the changes you have made. You can also click the Before and After Toggle button to compare the before and after versions of the photo to compare the change you have made. After making any changes you want to apply to the image in the Instant Fix window, click the Save button in the lower right corner of the window to save the changes. You can then click the Done button to the right to close the window. Alternatively, you can click the Back button in the upper left corner to return to the grid view of the Media view of the Organizer window. You can click the Editor button that appears in the taskbar to open the currently selected photo in the Photoshop Elements photo editor. You can click the small drop-down arrow to the right of the Editor button to choose to use an external editor, Photoshop, Video Editor if using Photoshop Premiere Elements, or Photo Editor from the menu that appears. Of course, you must have these applications installed on your computer to use them. To the far right of the Editor button is the Zoom slider, which adjusts the size of the thumbnails in the organizer window. Clicking the Keyword or Info button in the taskbar toggles the Tags and Information pane at the right side of the window on and off. Assigning and managing keyword tags will be discussed in upcoming lessons. If you click the Information button at the top of the pane, you will see any information related to the selected file. You can expand and collapse the areas in the Information pane by clicking the small black triangles to the left of the three group names, General, Metadata, and History. In this area, you will see file information such as the file name, ratings, and when the file was last edited and imported into the organizer.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.